Welcome back to your comfortable dark space on YouTube. My name is ND Graveheart, and today we'll be answering some writing questions provided by both new and continuing authors. Our first question is a very important one, as it pertains to the rights an author has over one's own work. The question being, can a beta reader steal my work? Now, don't get me wrong when I say this is a bit of paranoia on the author's part, but it's completely understandable. As a fellow writer, it would be devastating to watch as your hard work is stolen, plagiarized, or worse, monetized without your consent. However, the easiest answer I can provide is this. Firstly, your beta readers should be people that you trust, who aren't afraid to be critical of your work, of course. Second, and probably most importantly, under US law at the least, copyrights are granted under federal law to authors of creative works at the time of the work's creation in a fixed, tangible form. Meaning that the very second you add words onto a page, it belongs to you as your creative work. Understanding also that your work once saved or created is also documented by the app, such as Word, as proof that the work belongs to you. Now, there's no clear way of knowing if someone will willingly steal your work, but under federal law, you are protected as a creator of said work. Also, real quick, if you like the idea behind this new series of mine, please add a like to the video and subscribe for future answers to your most important writing questions. And next up, an author asks, how do you deal with long sections of dialogue? I myself, as a writer again, have also struggled with this for many years, but I believe I have found a way to make long stretches of dialogue flow, and flow well. Without having the right he said, she responded, they replied, etc. at every avenue of the dialogue. Depending on how many characters are speaking, of course, it's best to establish who is speaking first, then allowing the dialogue to play out without the need for repetitive words. For example, establish that character 1 is beginning the conversation, followed by character 2. Then allow the dialogue to ping-pong between each. For 3 or more characters, establish who is currently engaging in said dialogue stream. Then allow flow without repetitive words until character 3, for instance, speaks between character 1 and 2's dialogue. After that, apply character 3's name to an emotional response or gesture, and that will make for more engaging content than said, spoke, replied, etc. again. For example, character 3 clapped with enjoyment. That's amazing! Or character 3 then stood up, appalled by character 2. How could you be so cruel? It's as simple as that. Of course, I say it's simple. It's hard to put into words on paper. I absolutely love questions such as the ones featured on today's episode, because it goes to show that even if the answers may seem more obvious to some of us, they still hold a meaningful conversation amongst all writers of any genre. Speaking of which, this next question is just as important as the last two, and could be critical to the author's current writing as a whole. They ask, what are your tips on building character backstories in your book? There's a very old yet relevant saying that even my own editor has repeatedly reminded me of in my own writings, and that's show, don't tell. So, instead of outright telling the reader what each individual's backstory is through long narrations and dialogue dumps or the like, integrate their backstories into the book. Anyone who has played the recent Baldur's Gate 3 will know what I mean by this. If you have a character that was attacked by a dog early in their life, show that they hold that same fear of canines through a possible interaction with one. Even if it's a passing moment in the story. Say, character 1 shuddered at the sound of a barking dog nearby. Character 2 looked to them, concerned. "Are you okay?" they asked. Character 1, somewhat embarrassed, replied softly, "Yeah, I just haven't had good experiences with dogs in the past." then continue to indulge the reader's curiosity with small, arching segments throughout the remainder of the story, hopefully leading to a climax in which character 1 overcomes their fear of canines near the end, or even sooner. This is a simple example, but I really do hope that the message is clear. Finally, we get to my favorite question of the day. It's not so much a question as it is a review, but the writer simply asks, could you please give me feedback on my story's synopsis? Well, right out of the gate, I can say that it's way too long to even fit on the back of a book jacket without the font size being like 6. It's also much too long to hold the attention of anyone willing to pick up your book and read what it's about. Be short by keeping only what's necessary, concise with the details, and respect the reader's time. The first sentence is weirdly worded and says nothing, even though it sounds clever. I've been there and done that before, but trust me when I say that cleverness belongs within the pages of your book, not its synopsis. Secondly, 1/3 of your paragraphs start with my, when you should be writing in third person. Using a first-person view seems more demanding of the reader. My story, my words, etc. can be quite aggressive, even though you don't mean to sound aggressive. Say something along the lines of, the author tells a thrilling story of, instead, There's also plenty of grammatical issues, words that do not need to be completely capitalized, and so on. And when I say a lot, there's a lot. So, if you're planning to send this synopsis out to publishing companies, agents, and the like, this is going to be one of the first things they notice, are these small issues and errors within your synopsis. Lastly, because I don't want this to come off as insensitive, as you're clearly writing about numerous sensitive subjects that need to be addressed within our own society. But you give away too many details. Again, be short, concise, and respect the reader. The experiences that you seem to be writing about are very important and deserve a podium. Yet with this 7-ish paragraph synopsis, some very important factors were never outright explained, such as the book's genre, or the conflicts the reader is supposed to care for. It reads more like a blog, with everything being a bit muddled, and if I had a first paragraph suggestion for you, it would be as follows. An unexpected pregnancy, emotional abuse, mental disorders, and the thrilling tale of it all. Nothing can prepare you for the outright journey to hell and back. Torment through depression, a loss of self, and betrayal from a lover. Witness how one's push past suffering can lead them to the salvation that they have always deserved. A story of many being told through the lens of one survivor as a means to spread hope. And please don't hound me too much. That first paragraph is, of course, a first draft, but it's short, concise, and respects the reader. Straight to the point, captivating, and you know what to expect without giving too many details away. I really do hope that this helps, as your story definitely needs to be told. Otherwise, everyone, I thank you for all your time as listeners on the channel. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoyed the answers provided here, be sure to like the video and let me know how I did. And if you're a current author with a question that needs an answer, I'm much more inclined to answer questions from my Patreon supporters first, as they're the ones keeping my channel afloat at the moment. And of course, until next time, everyone, this has been ND Graveheart. So long.